Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Been a second. I've just been out here chatting it up with the trees for a minute, and I was thinking to myself, man, I just want to talk to those guys again, but what can I talk about today? I haven't got any new tanks, any new pets. I haven't been anywhere cool or seen any new animals. So I got to thinking, let's talk about some animals I don't have. Every pet keeper, reptiles, fish, invertebrates, whatever it may be, has a long list of animals that they want to add to their collection. And thinking about that and making a video about it for you today got me thinking about my goals for this channel in general. So that's what we're going to talk about, my goals. Whether that be for some animals I'd like to add to my collection, or perhaps for some life goals, some goals for this channel, that sort of thing. I just want to chat it up with you guys. I've missed you. So just like most of you watching, I have a plethora of PowerPoints and Apple Notes dedicated to the animals that I would like to acquire one day. So let's talk about my goals for my animal collection. Some animals that I'm planning to acquire soon, and some that are definitely a few years away. So believe it or not, I actually haven't kept that many members of the class Reptilia, aka reptiles, which would be all terrestrial creatures with scales that lay leathery eggs and can't regulate their own body temperature. Those reptiles. I haven't kept many other than Tot, actually. I've never had a lizard, I've never had a snake, I've definitely never had a crocodilian. So the next animal I would like to get is certainly a crested gecko. I think I gotta start basic. They're probably one of the friendliest beginner animals, and I think they'd be a good test for me for several reasons. I want more animals I can handle. My newts, of course, they're amphibians and they're very young and delicate right now, so not very good to touch. Tot, I'll let you be the judge. And the shrimp, the shrimp. I can't really hang out with them. So I would love an animal that I can hold. Also, I haven't kept an animal in a terrarium in quite some time. So that would be a lot of fun. It would be a great way for me to get some experience building vivariums. I want to fill this thing with live plants and give my gecko a lot of great spaces to hide, and it's starting to rain. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to finish this video for like 5 days now. It rained here for so long, and I just wanted to film this video outside. So let's finally get back to it. We're finally back outside at my nearest city park for me to explain to you what a vivarium is. It's more than just your traditional glass box for a reptile, an amphibian, or an invertebrate or something like that. It really means that I'm trying to recreate the natural environment, like this one that you see me in here, inside of that box for that animal, so it lives as enriching of a life as possible. My overarching goal for this gecko enclosure is going to be to create something that is a bioactive vivarium rather than just being a typical terrarium. A lot of beginners, when keeping reptiles, could keep it on reptile carpet or paper towels or that sort of thing, which is very simple when it comes to cleaning your enclosure. But what I want is not just to keep a pet, it's to try and create a slice of nature and observe my animal living in those conditions inside of my own home. And so in order to achieve that, there are going to be some certain things that I'm going to have to add to my enclosure on top of just the gecko. Number one is going to be plants. I'm going to need a lot of live plants. So I'll be doing a lot of research about the type of plants that grow in New Caledonia, the local or the native habitat of the crested gecko. On top of that, I'm going to have to add other organisms like isopods or springtails or other small invertebrates that will do the work of decomposing the waste that the gecko creates, either from its body or from the food it doesn't eat, that it'll help me break down and make that soil even more nutrient rich for all the plants. And I'll just have one big cycle going on inside of my enclosure, just like out here in a real ecosystem. So that'll be pretty sick. I have plans for that in early 2025. And then I've even got a name picked out for the gecko already. Pretty sick. I'm not gonna share it with you. That'll be a surprise, but I think it's a great name. Let's move so I can tell you about the next animal I would like to keep soon. Oh my gosh, this is super cool, guys. I need him to fly around again. But there is a super cool bird in this tree over here. One that I've only seen at this park, which is right inside of the city, believe it or not. There's a freaking kingfisher over there. Those are so cool. I love kingfishers. So you can kind of see him sitting in the tree there. Come on, jerk. Well, while I wait to see if I can get us a good look at the kingfisher, I'd like to tell you about the next animal that I would like to keep soon. I love fish, and I don't have a lot of fish right now. I love setting up a fish tank. All I've got are those rando guppies that are living in my newt tank. And I have been thinking about a really cool species of fish that I think it would be a lot of fun to keep, because technically they're the fish I'm the best at keeping. As I worked in a lab here on my campus, where all I did was take care of these fish. I bred them, fed them, cleaned their tanks. I know exactly how to care for these fish. The only thing is, I think the only way, oh my gosh, the kingfisher. There he is, guys. That is the kingfisher. Isn't that such an exotic looking bird? Pretty obvious how they get their name. That long beak makes them the kings of fishing. Get it? Anyways, sorry. As I was saying, the only way that I can acquire these fish is gonna be if I ask the team on campus at my university if I can have some of their fry. So we'll see about that. However, the reason I'm not telling you what these fish are is because I think it would be super cool if I was able to acquire some of the fry and raise them up for you. And as they grow, maybe you could potentially guess what they are. But I will give you some hints. They are a South American, Central American fish. And they are quite unique. They live in a very unique ecosystem. I'll just say that. Perhaps as time moves on, I'll give you some more hints, but I can't see myself sharing any more details about these fish with you right now. I just can't see that happening. So let's go talk about some more animals I want to keep. So I've come over here to sit in the bog area around the lake, which is a prime spot for finding amphibians, to tell you about a couple that I would like to keep in the far future. I have grand plans going on up here for a very large enclosure, a very large vivarium like we were discussing earlier, for two species of amphibian. One, the Amazon milk frog, which is a spectacular animal. They're beautiful. I mean, look at that coloration. They're awesome. They get their name from a milky substance that they produce in the wild. They don't produce it in captivity for reasons unbeknownst to me. And they're just so cool. I mean, they're blue frogs. That's so cool. I would definitely want to keep some of those guys. And while they are living up in the heights of this enclosure I plan on creating for them, there will be another type of frog hopping around on the ground, and that will be the golden poison dart frog, aka the most poisonous animal on Earth. Except mine will have no toxin in them whatsoever because they are captive bred. Poison dart frogs are not poisonous in captivity because their poison comes from the enzymes they break down in their prey in the wild, which are very toxic insects. So this plan is going to take many months to unfold once I've actually started the process, that is. I'm going to have to acquire a pretty large tank, at least 50 gallons, I would say, to house these animals together. And I'm going to have to let the dart frogs live in there and grow for a while on their own without the presence of the milk frogs, just because I don't want to take any risks The milk frogs are going to grow to a size that means it would be possible for them to ingest the dart frogs. That's why I chose the golden dart frog specifically, because they are the largest species of dart frog. And there are other dart frogs I kind of like more, but they just don't get big enough, and I would be too worried for the entire duration of their lifespans. But trust me, this thing's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a real exercise in patience, especially because you're gonna have to wait till I live in a different home and have the disposable income to do this sort of thing, but I'm very excited about it. Now, I want to talk about one more animal today, and this one is probably the farthest in the future, so I have no real plans for it. I just want to kind of sit here and romanticize it with you. I want a snake. It's no secret that snakes are awesome. If you don't like snakes, you're wrong, you're misinformed. You got some catching up to do. And I'd really love a snake. I love the colubrid family. I would love a rat snake, a king snake, a milk snake, something like that. Or if I was gonna get a constrictor, I think I really just want a rainbow boa. Those are such gorgeous, gorgeous snakes. The way that they are iridescent on top of that already very, very beautiful auburn and scarlet coloration. So cool, so cool. Want one day, so bad. Obviously, I could ramble on and on and on about hundreds of different animals I'd like to keep. Obviously, those aren't it. And there's even some stuff like a couple of fish I'd like to try and keep with Tot, or a couple more types of shrimp I'd like to get for the cube. But in terms of immediate plans for the future in the next couple of years, those are the animals I'm going to be trying to get my hands on. Now, on top of that, on top of just my animal keeping goals, I'd like to share with you some of my goals in terms of my career, which of course is one of the reasons I started this channel anyways, was to document not just how I keep animals, but what I'm doing in terms of my career, in the hopes that one day I get to do this full time, just making educational content about animals. So here's my plan. I'm effectively trying to put together a team, so to speak, of some animals that would be easier to handle and interact with the public. Because one day I would like to have enough animals in my collection to take them around to libraries or schools and teach kids and their parents and their families and just people about these animals that I love so much. Because those were some of the coolest memories of my childhood. Going to see Mr. PT Reptiles at the local libraries. He would bring a giant python or a tarantula or a tree frog or a baby alligator and all this stuff. And it was just so cool the way those kids just wanted to be him. Maybe that was just me, but to me, there's just nothing cooler than being somebody who teaches people about reptiles and amphibians for their job. So that's what I'd like to do someday. Past that, who knows? Of course, I'd love to work with zoos. I'd love to travel. I'd love to do field research. I don't know. I'd love to be a YouTuber full time. I'd love to have a TV show. I'd love to be Steve Irwin. You know, that those are my dreams. Would especially love to share with you guys how I obtain opportunities to advance my career in zoology. I'm working on my bachelor's degree. I am a naturalist with my city parks, and so I already get to do a lot of really awesome nature education. Who knows what's next? I think I want it to be volunteer work. Whatever's gonna get me to Central America, that's what I want to do. I think for the littlest amount of money and the most return on investment, I want to go to Central America very bad. Costa Rica, or I'll take South America too. I will. I'm not picky. I just want to go see frogs and snakes in the jungles. But yeah, that's all pretty far away right now. Who knows? Maybe it only seems that way. But as soon as I get information about that, it's on. It's on. I'm letting you guys know. And until then, I'm gonna be making nature education videos right here on my channel. Until something really does change in my life and I do make another step in my zoological career journey, I'm just gonna be right here making these videos about my animals and the animals around me, because I enjoy it. So I will catch you next time. This has been the Collegiate Creature Keeper. Y'all stay safe.